everyone, Marian here. I'm back today with a new video, and this one's going to be another one in my ROSH HASHANAH 2017 series. And today I'm going to be making challah for you. And I'm going to show you guys how to braid it so that it makes a round challah. So I might not know, but on ROSH HASHANAH it's tradition to eat challah that's shaped in a circle, and it's all about life continuing and moving around the seasons and good luck for the new year and all of that. So it's just really special to have this special bread. The same recipe works for challah for Shabbat, and I'll also show you guys how to braid that while I'm at it, mine as well. And yeah, so this is like the simplest, easiest challah recipe. It is totally like not hard at all. The only thing is it does take a little bit of time. I would say this is the shortest amount of time of any challah recipes I've tried, but because you're making bread like dough, it still needs time to rise, and that's what makes it take a lot of time. So I think people are kind of nervous to make challah because it seems like this 5-hour long complicated thing, and it's really not. It's just that the bread needs a little bit of time to rise. So yeah, I think that's my spiel. What else do I want to say? And yeah, I hope you guys all have a really happy and healthy new year, and that you've liked these ROSH HASHANAH videos. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll definitely link the other ones that I made down below so you can see them. I guess we should just jump into it. Okay, so what you're gonna need: 3 eggs, some honey, active dry yeast, which comes in these little packets, salt, flour, and then the rest is just measuring things. A cup and tablespoon measure, a liquid measure, a stir, and some bowls. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is make the yeast mixture, and you're going to use your largest bowl to do that. Okay, so I'm going to take this bowl and I'm going to open 1 package of yeast into the bowl. It's already difficult. Okay, then into the yeast you're gonna stir in 1 cup of warm water, and you really actually do want this to be at least warm, if not hot, because that's what activates the yeast so that your bread will rise. So I'm just stirring this in, and then I'm gonna let this set for 10 minutes. And this is kind of the first example of the annoying part about making challah is just waiting for things to happen, mostly waiting for things to rise. So yeah, the yeast needs time to like activate and get itself going on. So yeah, you just have to leave it for 10 minutes. While you're waiting for your yeast to rise, one thing that you can do is beat the eggs together. So we're gonna take 3 eggs, and I'm just gonna crack them, put them in the bowl, and whisk them up. Doing this at this point in the process is also a good idea because it gives your eggs time to get to room temperature. You don't really want to be mixing like freezing cold eggs right out of the refrigerator into your warm yeast mixture. So this will give them some time to get to the right temperature. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so now it's time to keep going with the yeast mixture. And the first thing you're going to do is put 2 tablespoons of honey into the yeast. By the way, my mom sent me this honey for ROSH HASHANAH, which I just think is so freaking cute. So yeah, I'm gonna use it for this recipe. Okay, so you're gonna use 2 tablespoons of honey. And we're just gonna mix that in. And then I'm gonna put in 1 teaspoon of salt. I know that was not the best way to do that, but I don't have any more salt. This is all that's left. Okay, so I'm just gonna stir this up, and now it's time to put in the beaten eggs. And you just wanna make sure that this is well incorporated. That's why I'm like mixing and pouring it slowly. Okay, now this is all mixed. I'm gonna put in 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm gonna do it 1/2 cup at a time just to give it, just to make it easier to incorporate and mix it together. So what's confusing is 3.5 cups is 7 cups of flour. So yeah, try and not lose count of that. I like to think, by the way, that I'm good at baking. I'm just really, really bad at following recipes because I lose track, and I'm like, how many cups was that? Did I already put in the flour? I've made cookies before where I left the butter melting like on the stove or the microwave, completely forgot to put it in the recipe. Like, that is just common for me, and that's how I find new recipes actually, because the cookies without the butter were like really thick and chewy, and I love them. Okay, 1, Yeah, you need to use a bit more muscle for this part, so I'm gonna have to stand on it. Okay, now I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, put some flour on my hands. I'm gonna knead the dough for 5 minutes and form it into a round disc. And if you're confused about what kneading the dough means, it really just means like playing with it. You're supposed to like push it out and in and just kind of like get it going, move it around. And feel free to add more flour to your fingers if they're getting really sticky. Okay, so I'm not sure if you could see very clearly in that time lapse, but basically as I was kneading the dough, I kept adding flour to make it less and less sticky and to turn it into more of like a dough shape that you can work with, and that's totally normal. I think I used probably more than a cup of flour to get to this stage. I'll show you guys where it's at right now. So all the dough in my hand is from earlier. It's really not sticking to me anymore very much. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this dough and put it in another bowl that has some oil in it, and I'm going to coat the dough disc in oil. Okay, so my hands are clean now, and what I'm going to do is take another bowl and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil in it. I'm using canola oil. You can pretty much use any oil, except I wouldn't use like olive oil. Nothing with too strong of a flavor. So yeah, I'll just put about 2 capfuls or so. And then what I'm going to do is coat the ball of dough in oil and then leave it in here to rise. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this for 45 minutes to an hour to rise. It hopefully will double in size, and I'm going to leave a damp cloth on top of it for it to do that. And if you have like a warm spot in your kitchen or something, that's a great place to leave it, you know, somewhere where the sun comes in, something like that, which just kind of helps it rise, that heat. Okay, so I'll be back in an hour. Hi everyone, okay, I'm back. It's been about an hour, and what I'm gonna do now is first I'm gonna show you guys how to do a traditional like Shabbat braided challah, just so you get that one down. It's super easy, and then we'll move on to the round challah. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is put flour on your surface and on your hands. Then the next thing you're going to do is take your dough out of the bowl, put it on your surface, and divide it into 3 equal parts. I'm just gonna use this little piece of dough to work with, and I'll save this one for the round challah. But it's the same thing. So yeah, we're gonna divide it into 3 parts, and then I'm going to roll it into a long, cylindrical little wormy guy. And yeah, you want it to be, it doesn't really matter how thick you make it. It's just if you want like a longer challah or a shorter, fatter challah, you can like play around and see what you like. I do it to about, I guess I would say this is like 3/4 of an inch thickness. And then I'm gonna do that with all 3. Okay, once all 3 are stretched, you're going to pinch the edges together and really make sure they are like mushed together, because you want them to break apart in the oven. And then you're even gonna like tuck them under a little bit so they really are stuck together. Then you're gonna start your braid, and that's just like a simple braid. Nothing fancy here, just one on top of the other until you reach the end. And that's where you're gonna pinch again and again tuck it under. And yep, that's your little braided challah. Isn't he cute? And before you put it in the oven, you're gonna brush it with some egg yolk, and yeah, you can sprinkle like sugar on top, salt, poppy seeds, like whatever you're into. But that's the super basic, just main type of challah braid for Shabbat. Okay, now moving on to the round challah. The first thing you're going to do is split your dough into 4 pieces this time, 4 equal strands, and then you're gonna roll them out as long and thin as possible. Okay, once you have your 4 pieces, you're gonna lay them out tic-tac-toe style, kind of overlapping each other. So I'll show you guys how that's done. You're gonna take your 2 pieces and do it vertical, and then the other pieces horizontal, and you're gonna go over, under in like a crisscross pattern. So because this one's over, this one will be under, and then over here. So you've got your little hashtag sign to start your haul.
Hashtag Challah.
Okay, and then you're just gonna move them a little bit closer together so that they're meeting in the middle. And that is the center of the round challah. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep weaving this pattern round and around by taking the one that's over and placing it under his partner in a clockwise rotation. If you have one that's under, you're gonna place him over and then keep going round. So basically you've got that under over braid rotation. And if you get messed up, just look at it. See, this one is under, so it's gonna be over. The next one see, this guy's under, so you're gonna stretch him over his partner clockwise in rotation. Now he's over, so we can leave him alone. Okay, so once you've gone around the circle in a clockwise pattern, you're gonna go the other way in a counterclockwise pattern, always taking the under piece and going over. So I've done this way, and I'm gonna go back around the other way. And now we've gone counterclockwise, we're gonna go back clockwise again. So under goes over, under goes over, under goes over. And we're back to where we started, so now we're gonna go back clockwise again, or counter, I can't remember where we are. Okay, the pieces are becoming like farther apart, and that's fine because it's gonna create this like rounded, tall shape. So just keep going with it. Okay, at this point I've stretched my dough pretty much as far as it can go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the ends together and flip it upside down. You can work with it just how it is now, which is really beautiful. If you flip it, you get an even prettier design. I'm just gonna show you really quickly what it looks like now. And then I'm gonna pinch the ends and flip it. Okay, so at this point you're ready for the baking sheet. You should line it with parchment paper if you have that. I don't today, so I'm just gonna I put a little bit of the oil I used earlier on the baking sheet just so it won't stick, and I'm just spreading around with my fingers. And this is ready to go in the oven right now. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and it's going to cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. And you just wanna watch the round challah because it's a lot like shorter and thicker than a long braided challah. You just want to be careful that it's cooking through and not burning. And before you put it in the oven, you might want to put a little egg wash on top, which is just like beaten up egg white, and you can spread that on top, which will make the edges like brown and have a beautiful color to them. Okay, here she is, my little challah baby, all ready for the oven. Okay, here she is, just came out of the oven, and I put her on our lovely challah dish, all round and ready for the holiday. I'm so excited by how she came out. Okay, so that's the video. I hope you guys liked it and learned how to braid challah and a good challah recipe. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. I make videos about being a Jewish mom, Jewish life, and then just like all sorts of mom videos. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and yeah, see you again soon. Bye.